Okay, thank you very much for this day. Today we are here at Brother Benson Media, where we just want to have conversation about ourselves and conversation about things that surround and the things that shapes our lives. As you know, um, right now in Kenya, especially, people are complaining about how life is not very cheap, and we have a financial bill that also has been tabled in Parliament. This is the one that is going to be for the year 2023, um, and 2023 2024, and we just want to have a conversation over that and share our view, what you feel about it. Is it a good budget for you? Or what do you feel should be done so that it can improve the livelihood of all Kenyans from all walks of life? We also have a issue that has been here for the longest time, especially that concerns the counties, especially. And today we just want to talk about Siaya County. And the reason why we want to have like a small conversation on Siaya County, we might say it kind of like has depicted maybe something that has been taking place in most of our counties in terms of how the public money is being used and what impact do the monies um, that maybe are being spent on various projects in these our counties, how do they impact the lives or of the people or the residents who are there? So that is one area that we need to talk about. Mzalendo, habari gani?
Mzuri sana Ben.
Thank you very much for
Mhm.
showing up. I was so much scared that will this thing happen.
Okay.
Actually, it's the first time that we are doing it, and
Mm.
I'm very glad at least you are there to give the support and maybe to share your view. As I was talking about the financial bill that is already with us in the country, that majority of people are complaining about all sorts of things, and you know everybody is saying what they know about the bill. But I think sometimes as a country, we need to have like a conversation, all of us, both the
Mm.
government and the opposition, because the bill will affect everybody. It's not going to be partial. It's not only going to affect maybe the people who are supporting government. They will say like now we are the people who are going to feel maybe we good, or the opposition people are going to not to feel good. It cuts all across the borders. So I think if we can step back as a country and have a conversation and see what is not appealing in the bill, so that we have discussion on it and we come up with a solution, rather than maybe everybody giving ultimatums. So what is your take on that?
Thank you, Brother Ben, once again for inviting me to your show. This is a great opportunity to enlighten many Kenyans on what's happening in our country. Um, this is the financial bill 2023 is one of the most talked about or scrutinized bill in my era. I think I've never participated so much in in a bill like I've done in this particular bill. So this is the most talked about bill because it has got very some very controversial clauses, and by and large, I think it is because of our politics. We are just from an election, and the country was divided into two between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. So a lot of noise is coming from both sides, the pro and the guys who are against the bill. But when I look at the bill critically, Brother Benson,
Mhm.
is that you realize that a country needs to run, and the country runs on finances and on a budget. Even you, where you are, you have a budget. When you get your salary, you have to budget for a few groceries, you have to budget for your rent, you have to budget for your electricity, you have to budget for your car or car fees. Or you and sometimes if you're paying school fees, you have to really budget. So a country is also like that. We have to budget for our expenditure. We have to budget for the wage bill. We have to budget for what the president promised the electorate when they were asking for votes in August. So that is the essence of the financial bill. Without the financial bill, then we don't have a country that will run effectively.
But like I understand you, and but like the same time as we might say like the bill, that's how the country should run. But right now, if you look at the state of the country or the state of economy like everywhere, the life or like the 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 life is kind of like very expensive, you know. And how will you reconcile whereby the citizen are complaining how they're not in a good state, and with the financial bill too coming, that is they feel is taxing them very highly, which is going to make life even more unbearable for them.
You see, Ben, there are two things here. One, we should continue with the status quo, meaning we continue borrowing to 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 pay our wages or to run on the country by debt. That will make most of the Kenyans comfortable. But now, number two, William Ruto's government has taken a bold move that will hurt each and everybody in the beginning. But the end of it, everybody else will be smiling. That is my anticipation. Anticipation is that everybody else will be smiling. Although people would argue that, when you increase the VAT to 16% on
Mhm,
fuel, then that hurts the economy in general.
mhm,
That is very, very true. That is very, very true. But what are we doing with the 8% increment? Remember, Ben, in 2019, the same parliament, with nearly 90% of the legislators who are today opposing that bill, passed a 16% increase on fuel VAT in 2019. And it was overwhelming until Uhuru Kenyatta reduced it to 8%. He did not assent to the bill, he returned it for amendment. It was reduced to 8%. Now, what informed Uhuru's decision was, of course, COVID.
mhm,
We are in a COVID crisis, and everybody was staying at home, and the economy was hurting. So what do we need? We need to cut down on the taxes so that wananchi can feel better. But now COVID is gone. Although we have got the war between Ukraine and Russia, which is affecting the fuel cost, definitely. You feel the pinch worldwide and the looming inflation in the country. When the cost of goods are very, very high, then it means that we are already in an inflation and people cannot purchase anything. And the reason why people cannot purchase anything is but there's no money moving in the economy. The few who have got the cash, the capitalists, are keeping their dollars and their shillings in their houses. So you and I can't access that mean money for circulation. That is the biggest problem. The buying power for Mwananchi is gone. We don't have any buying power anymore.
So, and you talked about when you look at the government, especially with the number of employment they've offered, especially like the CSS, there were almost like around 50 of them. So, how is the government going to manage the wage bill? And with the new budget that is there, we have the CSS. When this one, do you think that one is going to create even more harsh conditions for the Kenyans? So government
You
should
know,
kind of like see a way of how like minimizing the expenses, and yeah,
I,
so that
why is it? Ben, I can't hear you. Can you
um,
hear
um
me now?
yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
All right. I think what you had asked, if I grasp a few sentences, is that the government is bloated, and Ruto employed so many CSs in his government. His argument is that he wants to see efficiency and good management of our resources, and at the same time, he's curbing waste because his argument is with these CSs, he can manage the government effectively. But here comes the question. I don't agree with him largely on a huge government because this government comes with so much cost. You forget about the salaries that they are going to get. They're also coming in with baggage. They're coming with house allowance, loans that you and I are going to pay. They're coming in with a full-fledged office. They're coming in with bodyguards. They're coming in with travel expenses. Yes, I don't know what informed his decision, but again, the number should be reduced because this is a country that is struggling with in debt, and we need to cut down on expenditure, especially the traveling that everybody is now complaining about. I feel that is necessary for Ruto's government to succeed.
Okay, that's okay. Just go to let us just go back on the financial bill 2023-2024 financial year. There's this controversial proposal that was brought about the house levy. Actually, it was the first proposal was proposing 3%, but it has been reduced to 1.5, and it's so much controversial in any way. Like everybody feels like how should I? pay a levy for a house that sometimes I don't need. And to that extent, whereby you find like some of especially some of our brothers would usually say that those who have payslip should wake up early in the morning so that you can build for us houses. So what is your thought on the house levy? Because sometimes they say it's a levy, sometimes they say it's a tax. So
As it stands now, through the public participation, the government has heeded to the call of reducing the housing levy from 3% to 1.5%. It was necessary to reduce it to 1.5% because of people who actually were not planning for this. Some of the pay slips, if you see them, they didn't have enough money to pay for the houses. Now, is it necessary to have houses? That is the biggest question. The big question in the room is that, was it necessary for us to build houses for for the communities? The answer is yes. This is informed by data, informed by proper research, informed by need. Every political party that contested in the last general election had got housing in their manifesto. How they were going to implement it are either two things. One, through our taxes, and two, through borrowing from development partners. Now, uh, can you hear me, Ben?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So this is one of the things. Just hold on a second. There's some noise here. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep. So this is one of the most contested bills that I feel the government worked so hard, and they can't let it go. They can't let it go because, one, it will create employment for so many people. Just apart from the casual laborers, we
Mhm.
have got decent professional jobs that will get from the houses. We have got designers, we have got project management, we have got the people who are going to run this program as long as Kenya Kwanza is in government. And maybe the government that will come will adapt the same. Now, from 1.5%, from 3% to 1.5, the government won big.
Mhm.
They dangled a carrot, we ate the bait. And this is how the government won. In the previous proposal, everybody pay was capped at 2,500. I believe so. Everybody was paying a standard fee of about 2,500. And then
Mhm.
your employer was topping up the same, and the government comes in also with
Mhm.
another top up. Now, right now it has 1.5%. If you earn a six-figure salary of
Mhm.
maybe 1 million, that is 1.5% of 1 million. All right.
Yep.
So initially you are to only pay 2,500. So they are making a lot of money through this 1.5. Yet, under the law and the ASLA
Mhm.
is getting is paying very little to own these houses. So that is a plus for me. And they have said that it is no longer a levy whereby you are going to be given the money back. What they are proposing is that this money, once you pay it, it is gone. The only time you can use it is when you want to purchase a house, and you probably use it as collateral. Yeah, this is money that is yours, and when you want to purchase a house, you will use it as maybe a down payment, or what do they call it? Or they have a name that they had coined for it.
So,
So I've just forgotten the name.
okay,
But
now,
that is money is there for you.
especially now when it comes to housing, I know, those who have houses knows, like, building a house to completion and fitting everything, is not is a good thing, and sometimes is easy. But what comes with it, because we know a house to uh, must be maintained, and looking from how some of the houses that have been constructed by the government, the maintenance of these houses, who is going to maintain these houses? That is one. Secondly, what is the criteria that they are going to use to give houses? For instance, I'm working in Siaya. I'm a government official in Siaya, and I'm contributing money. There's also somebody in Homa Bay, Mombasa, Nairobi. What kind of criteria are they going to use for us, such that I, who is coming from Siaya, will get a house in Siaya, or how? Or they will give the house randomly? How are they going to, these houses, how are they going to give the people who are
I
paying this?
I think when you are uh, Ben, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think when you are looking for property to buy,
Yeah,
first thing that comes into your mind is the location,
yeah,
and you wouldn't want to buy a property where you feel you are not comfortable,
hmm,
or where you think that the prices of that particular area, because
yeah,
these houses, remember, they will not be actually in the same locality.
yeah,
For example, there'll be a house in Oma Bay Urban Center. There'll be a house in Ngara, or there'll be a house in somewhere in Siaya. Now, if you're working in government and this money is in a consolidated pool and you've
mhm,
been paying for it, and it is time for you to purchase a property, what informs you in purchasing a property? One, the thing that informs you of purchasing property
yep,
is profit
hmm,
and and location.
hmm,
So when the location of the said property
hmm,
is convenient for you,
hmm,
that is when you say now you want to purchase this property in Kisumu, all
hmm,
right?
yeah,
And you put up your application. This is what I want. The government will not give you houses randomly if you don't need them at that particular time.
yeah,
But for me, if I was in the scheme, or if I
hmm,
was a civil servant, and
hmm,
they are putting all our names in a pool to get houses, and I live within Nairobi,
hmm,
I know that is a property that will give me an income in
hmm,
terms of rent. So I
hmm,
will go for it. All right. So
yeah,
I'll go to a property that are in urban center. And again, you also ask a very, I find it important, but although you need to understand that we pay NHIF,
yeah,
which is deducted from our salaries, and we are not sick. All right.
yeah,
So that money benefits somebody else
hmm,
somewhere, because it's put in a consolidated fund to assist the hospitals. So the day you pay for it each and every month, cut from your payslip, and you don't complain, because one time you will need it. All right.
yeah,
So that is how this money is. It is a housing scheme that, yes, we are pulling all our resources together to ensure that we have decent housing for each and everybody and affordable housing.
So it's a good plan. Maybe sometimes there's a way in which the government officials who are mandated to explain to the public on how it will be implemented, or the correct wording that they should be using to give the especially the citizen hope that this is a very good project. And on the same housing, because like this is your money, you are working, it's kind of like you are saving. In the event, let's say that I'm paying my money,
Mm-hmm.
the employer is deducting the money, and God forbid, in a period of 2 months, or let's say 2 months is too shorter. Let's say like in a period of maybe 5 months, 5 years, then it happens that um, I'm no longer there. I die, for instance. It can happen because those are part of life. Death is usually there in part of our lives. So how are you going to claim this money? Is there criteria that government has put in place on how such eventualities, if they happen, how this money can be claimed? Or it will just go like that, even without your family getting part of it?
A good question. Uh, Let me just walk you through when somebody dies in service. First, you are asked for a death certificate to confirm that so and so is dead from your employer. If you are and the employer has got a record of the beneficiaries in
Mm.
case something like that happens to you. So you, as Brother Ben, while you are gone, you have your wife there that you put as a beneficiary and your children, the people who are close to you. So, how do they normally benefit from your savings or earnings? They benefit because there is structure in the civil service that will pay each and every coin that you contributed during your service in employment. That is already taken care of by your employer because this money is going in the consolidated fund. How do you get your NSSF money? The money that we normally contribute for national, uh, is it National Social Security Fund?
Yes, National Social Security Fund. Yes.
That money, you always get it when you retire
Mm.
and you get it in lump sum. There's never been a case whereby you have retired and you didn't get that money. And when you die, you still get your contribution because there is a next of kin that your employer or has in record, and you are the one who put that name there for them to inherit whatever you have. So that is how that money is going to. That's how people are going to get their money in case they are
Okay.
not there. Another
Okay.
thing
Uh-huh.
you must understand is that the government will create a parastatal, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll call it National Housing Development Corporation
Mm-hmm.
that
Which
will
we have.
manage. Huh?
We have National Housing Corporation. We do have in Kenya.
Yeah, we have National Housing Corporation, but what I'm talking about is National Housing Development Corporation.
Oh, okay.
This is a totally different entity that will manage this property. That is my
Mm-hmm.
suggestion. I don't think the government has come up with a name
Yep.
or a body that will govern, will manage these funds or will manage the whole project because there will be project managers. they have to be answerable to a particular office.
Yes.
So there'll be people working in those offices on a daily basis. So that is expected.
Okay, we can just also remind people like the budget, the proposal that the government made. At least they've done like around 6 amendments in some of their proposal that they made. Some of them they've reduced in percentage, so you can check on um, the the financial bill on the amendments that they've done. Another thing that I want to also we can discuss about the same when it was tabled in Parliament, we saw the members of Azimio, they walked out of of the Parliament, and we know of Mushomba Githungiri, a member of Parliament, actually, who is a UDM member, also uh, voted no to the bill. Now, my question wants to come. Do you think as a country we've reached a point like we do not have mature leadership, or what do you think in terms of leadership when it
I,
comes?
you forgot to say that Azimio or ODM party has actually threatened to remove all those uh, all those members who participated on the side of Kenya Kwanza, who voted yes. They have promised to discipline them by removing them from the committees in the House. And those who are absent also will face some disciplinary action. Now, for Wamuchomba, I think it is a cautious decision informed by his electorates that she needs to vote no,
Yeah.
and maybe she scrutinized the bill, and she's not happy, just like the rest of us are not happy with other clauses in the bill. So, I mean, that is her democratic right, and not to say yes to the bill. And again, that shows you that there are people out there still who are not patroned by the party.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make a cautious decision. And it is important. There is a party position and there's a cautious decision that you make as a legislator. Having read the bill, that your political party could be making a wrong decision, but you, one man or one woman, could be standing for the truth. So you better stand alone and be counted that you didn't support the bill. If this thing if the bill doesn't work out
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the term,
Mm-hmm.
people like Muchomba
Mm-hmm.
are the ones who are going to be counted.
Yeah.
Like, we said that this thing was not going to work. So it is important also to make a decision.
So, like, let's say, like, she was there and she voted no, but she did not walk out of the Parliament. But, like, I'm just asking the reason why, if you feel you don't agree with the bill, you walk out of the Parliament. To you, what does it portray?
It portrays, first, it portrays that you the message you want to pass is that you don't agree with the bill in totality. Yeah. And that is absolutely wrong. There should be at least some areas in the bill that you don't agree with. But again, how, if I voted for you and you just walked out without explaining to me why you are walking out, then again, that is also very wrong. You should stay there, explain to us why the bill is wrong, and how it is going to hurt your constituents or the country in general. That is what we pay you to do on a daily basis. So I think that is important.
Yeah,
Mm.
and to me, always I see like because
Mm?
for this financial bill 2023-2024,
Mm-hmm.
however much it's for the government, but sometimes I do feel like the government and the opposition should have like a prior conversation before even tabling it to the parliament, whereby they um, discuss and have areas that they contest so that they can agree on, such that when they come into parliament they agree, especially like when you see like I don't like usually giving an example, but you give an example like the one for United States, when they were avoiding the government shutdown, whereby McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, and the President, representative, had to talk and agree on on um, on the money, like the the what we call it, the money that should be spent on the
On
government. Yeah.
the money to
So
run the government.
money to run the government, because like both the opposition and the government, they are part of the country, right? So why can't they have that by saying, okay, instead of us working out, why can't we have prior talking in a way, so we discuss on the contested areas. So after agreeing on the contested areas, now we bring it into parliament, then the bill just sails through. Or what is happening with our leaders? That is leadership. We are not even blaming the Azimio, or we are not blaming the government, but for the sake of the citizen of the country, because we cannot not listen to what Azimio MPs are saying, because they also feel right now some of the citizen of the country cannot manage what the way life is it right now, you know. And the government also feel like that is the right way that we can use, so that we can bring country into track, so that we can stabilize the economy. So like these people, they have different views, but
I
like I think
agree.
they should
Uh,
come together and talk.
yes, yes, Ben. I mean, in mature democracies, they differ, but they find a level playing ground, depending on the party's position on any particular issue. And you know why? Because the country comes first. Even if you are in the opposition, if you are in government, the country comes first. So if this bill was to be shut down entirely, then Ruto will not have a country to run. There will be no medicines also in hospitals. There will be nothing. Yeah. So, and there's always a deadline in doing things. And
Mhm.
again, there is debt that we have to pay as a country. So when we don't meet our obligation, we start paying interest on the debt that we have borrowed. So
Mhm.
the bills and the budget have to pass so that we can have a country. But our country, our legislators don't know how to negotiate. They know confrontational politics. Yeah. They can't negotiate with the government and say, we in Azimio feel that, yes, this bill, there are some aspects in it that you need to remove so that they push the agenda for their people, the people who are leaning towards Azimio. For example, Azimio could be talking about the fishing industry. What we feel, Mr. Ruto, in your budget, you have not given us, people from my region, enough money to run the Ministry of Fisheries, for example. Yeah, vis-a-vis what you have given to coffee and tea, that is what they should be discussing in parliament. People from the lake where I come from. But look at what they discuss. They don't discuss any issue affecting the people who took them to parliament or to senate.
That's
That is a
so
very, very big
they
problem.
have misplaced priority.
They have, they think that they are, they represent the party all the time, and the
Mm.
party comes first, then we, the electorates, come later. So most of the time, it is the party position, and that
But
is the our undoing in our politics.
but you know, even if you might say it is a party position, one thing that you have to know immediately after election, and these guys, before even they start legislating in the parliament, they have to take an oath, and an oath, when they take an oath, they become state officers. You know, they no longer because state will be paying them money. So sometimes maybe party positions, but like they also should think of how they can um, develop their area, because the development is actually what people need. Party, sometimes party position might not bring development in an area, you know. So that's something should be thought. um there's also something here that I know the financial budget is something that is still going to be with us here until um,
No,
some,
it is, yeah, it is. It's being discussed. It's still here with us,
yeah.
but
So
by and large, it has passed. When the president feels that there are some things that needs to be amended,
it
they will amend it. But the good part about the financial bill is that I, for the first time, saw each and every Kenyan participating in the budget process. Everybody knows about the housing levy. Everybody knows about the tax on content creation, and the government is also listening. We have a government that is listening. So the noise that was made and the people, what they felt, by and large, the government has addressed some of the issues. They cannot actually address everything, but they
mm.
have tried to address the major contentious issues.
Yeah, I'll be very glad to see both opposition and the government coming together for the benefit of the common man or the common countrymen. Now, this last part that we just want to go over it, and I picked it because it is something that is worth talking about. It kind of like reflect what is on the counties, especially I think it's something like to do with the 2 weeks to around 1 week ago about the Siaya County, whereby Oduol, the governor, the deputy governor of Siaya County, came up with some figures, to mention some of the things that he said, of how about junior staff was withdrawing around 950,000 from impressed account, that is from county, 6 times a day, which that one brings something like around 6 million. So he was saying that in the month of November, a total of 21 million was withdrawn from impressed account, that is petty cash. Then on December, there was December there was what December there was a total of 41 million, and there was also the people who staffs from previous government of I think Rasanga, who were accused of stealing 600 million and 400 million, were brought back to work. So, and he decided to raise an alarm on that. And I decided to pick on it because this one depicts something about our counties. However much sometimes we concentrate so much on national government, but there's a lot of pilferage taking place at the county level. that people do not usually pay attention to. So, what is your take, especially even Siaya, because that is a reflection of all the counties. I mean, the majority of the counties, especially
Yeah,
this. Yeah.
uh, I'm glad you have noticed, Sia. We will one day discuss about Homa Bay, where a factory was opened and it has never never milled any maize.
Oh.
Same to Siaya. Orengo opened a factory for juice. They were supposed to be doing their own juice, bottled juice from Siaya County. But believe you me, they don't have a factory up to now. The budget was passed, the money was eaten. So this is happening in all the counties in Nyanza, especially in Siaya. It is unfortunate because you know Oduol. Oduol is an accountant by profession. He doesn't just play with figures. He knows exactly what happens in matters of finance. And remember, Ben, this is somebody who ran against Dr. Buru
Mhm.
in 2013, and he won the seat, and he was denied the ticket. And they gave a compromise candidate because I think the leader didn't want the brother to feel bad. So they gave a compromise candidate by the name Rasanga, Colonel Rasanga. Colonel Rasanga happens to come from Malego, Songa, if I'm not wrong. He comes from Malego, yeah, same area with Oduol.
Mhm.
Now, Oduol, Oduol is fighting for supremacy, all right?
Mhm.
He's also fighting for employment opportunity amongst the people from where he comes from. Apparently, Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm very clear.
Apparently, my my nene is tripping.
Oh.
Apparently,
Mm.
uh, apparently, Orengo is giving a lot of jobs to his kinsmen. That is also there in the making.
Okay.
And Oduol seems to be eyeing the position in 2027. So there's a lot of wars that is going on in the county assembly of Siaya. But again, this is a county that is controlled by Raila's closest ally and advisor, who is
Mm.
now the governor, Governor James Orengo. So we saw Duol impeached last week.
Yeah, they did.
Its matter is, I think, is before the Senate. There's a panel already uh, going to discuss Oduol's first fate in Senate. I saw him in the media saying that he has taken all the evidence in EACC and he hopes that EACC will exonerate him. But look at what the county assembly was doing. They were fishing for evidence to pin down Oduol for his wrongdoings, which I think was just unfortunate.
Because like I read some of the allegation that they were Oduol was charged with like misappropriation of funds, misuse of the office. So my question is, when did they realize that Oduol was misappropriating funds and abuse of the office? Did they realize prior before Oduol coming out to say all this that was taking place, or it is something that they brought him to encounter what Oduol is saying?
I think what informed the decision is that yes, you're accusing the governor, but we can also accuse you of, doing ABCD, which we think that is illegal. So whatever they were doing, and who was giving Oduol the funds, he should also be accountable. He's also criminal because Oduol did not go to pick the funds alone. There's somebody who paid him. Yeah, whatever money,
Yeah.
he doesn't work in accounts. There is a chief accountant in the county assembly. So if Ben, I'm telling you, if you listen to the debates in the county assembly, you will die. You will die not once, not twice, but thrice. They discuss basically nothing. Zero.
So
Zero. Look at the issues that they're coming out with.
actually, even I have so much regard for Cyrus Oguna, who was he's now the county spokesperson, or who is he? Um, and he came and found like they found a new allegation about Odual. So my question is, by Odual being taken to Senate to be impeached in Senate, and the Senate are going to discuss about it, what do residents of Siaya are gaining? If maybe what are they gaining in terms of the infrastructures of Siaya, in terms of the hospital in Siaya, in terms of the education in Siaya, in terms of services that they need? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What how are they going to gain, especially when the executive are like this? But in the event that Oduol wins the case in the Senate, how are they going to operate in Siaya? How?
Naked.
Mm.
Um, yes, thank you very much, Ben. Mm, the question of how they are going to operate is a story for another day. This county will be chaotic. I don't think Oduol will be even allowed, in case he wins the case, I don't think he will even be allowed at the county assembly. I know the hooliganism that can be muted to people who are against the party's candidate or the party's position.
Mm.
Now, it is important that we watch how the party plays politics in this game. So, for me, Oduol stands out because he has identified a loophole in the county assembly, and whatever the outcome, to me, is a hero of the day. Whether he loses the case or not, is
And you see Mzalendo.
mhm.
I didn't, you know, did they see this one coming? Because when you look at Oduol and James Orengo in terms of their
Mhm.
ideology, the ideology doesn't match. Actually, Oduol, I think, was not a preferred deputy governor for them. I think Oduol was brought in because of numbers. Because if you look at in 2022, it was who this guy who had Charles Awino, who uh
Engineer Gumbo.
yeah, Engineer Gumbo. If you look at if you look at the numbers, yeah, the numbers were favoring them, and that's why they had to bring in Oduol, because they knew Oduol has following and a fan base.
I think Orengo and Oduol come from opposite side. One comes from Ugenya, I think. The other comes from The other one comes from Malego, or do they come from the same place? So they come from two different regions in Siaya County, and they didn't want to take any chance in this election. Although Engineer Gumbo gave it a good run, but unfortunately he lost in the final in the final race. But Duol is an ambitious young man. I am sure he wants to run Sierra County. He has got the knowledge, and he represents what the future leadership in ODM. He's still a member of ODM, but that is the kind of leadership that we want. People who would stand up for the truth, no matter the cost.
But like this is just like a replica of what is happening in majority of Luo counties. We call them Luo Nation counties. Is a replica, and if you look very keenly, as compared to counties like Makueni, that each and every time they do things that are very substantial, you know, like things that are touching on the lives of people. But that is something that we are not seeing with the counties from the Luo Nation, you know, like coming up with something that can really benefit the people of Luo Nation.
You know, just one answer for that. All the leaders in Luanan's nation
Mhm.
are not elected by the people, but they are selected by the political leader. They don't represent the people, but they represent the political party.
Mhm.
So they work for the political party other than the people that put them in office. That is our undoing. When you see their positions each and every time, they have got very, very strong position when it comes to the party.
Mhm.
How many times do you see a Luo leader fighting for his constituents? How many times have you seen them, even in parliament, saying that they need a fish factory in Nyanza? There's a fish
Actually, that
factory
is needed. Fish factory is needed in Nyanza.
is needed, and we need to export fish. We need to
Mhm.
export fish. That is our economic base. Look at how leaders in Central Province, when they stand up in the floor of the house, they're either talking about tea or they're either talking about their coffee and coffee farmers. They're talking about their milk. They're talking about their produce. Counties like Siaya. Siaya is a potential area for mining. How
Mhm.
many of its MPs are talking about mining in parliament? How many of them are talking about fishing in Usenge, for example? How
Mhm.
many of them have you heard talking about the fisherman in Usenge?
The
Yeah?
sugarcane plantation.
How
We
many of them have you heard talking about the revival of Dominion, calling back the investor who put up a
Kikomi.
very
We have
yeah,
Kikomi.
the revival of Kikomi? Yeah, how many of them do you hear talking about that? The only thing that they talk about is Raila Odinga
But Raila is almost
and
retiring.
Azimio.
Raila
Yeah,
is almost retiring.
I think Raila is also tired of this leader.
So, but
The
what is going to be way forward
hmm?
for Nyanza?
What?
What is going to be way forward for the Luo Nation?
For me, I feel just as we always say, we are in the right trajectory, meaning we are in the right position at the right time. What will happen when Raila retires? He will retire with his clan. All right. We
Mhm.
will have a fresh breath of fresh politicians. with a new thinking away from party hardline politics.
Mm.
We will have leaders who represent the will of the people.
And what sometimes I don't think it is only in Nyanza. What sometimes I think with the majority of our leaders, one, um, they don't have something that they stand for, that they can even like have, like, if I say that I stand for, let's say, like education, like my main thing that I want to change my community, that I want to change it through education, and like you fight very hard and make sure that the infrastructures when it comes to education are at a very
You know,
standard.
I like giving this example, Ben.
Yeah.
I like giving this example. You know Mwangi Wairia.
Yes, I know Mwangi.
Mwangi Wairia, I think is milk in Kikuyu.
Yes.
So for him, he was elected because of his policies and the things that he implemented
Mm-hmm.
in his locality through the dairy farmers, and milk and the increase in milk production before even he got into parliament.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Wamatangi.
Yes.
I think Wamatangi is a governor or is a senator.
Governor for Kiambu.
He's the governor for Kiambu.
Yeah.
Wamatangi used to distribute water tanks.
Yes.
So he ensured that all the schools have got water tanks, and the people who couldn't afford at least
Mm-hmm.
have got access to water.
Mm-hmm.
We come back to our 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 counties.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one leader who stands for something, just one.
I used to remember Agustino Neto.
Oh, Neto is my homeboy.
Yeah, Agustino
Uh,
Neto.
Neto, we grew up with the Neto. Neto cannot be in the ODM bandwagon
Mm-hmm.
because first is principled. He's a young man who is principled, knows what he wants, and
Mm-hmm.
knows where the direction he wants to take with his politics. Whether you like him or not, he's tough-headed. He will
Yep.
go towards that direction,
Mm-hmm.
and he will not listen to anybody, but to
Yeah.
his conscience and what he believes in.
Yeah, so I just don't know how we will kind of like have a leadership not only in some of these our counties, but all the counties in Kenya, whereby
You know, where we come from, we have got very good leaders. There, we have got very good leaders who had a very good career in the civil service,
mhm,
and they joined politics, but they didn't make it. And what they did as career servants, they employed so many people, and they had a vision.
mm.
We had we have people like Dalma Sutieno.
Shemo Chuodo.
Shemo Chuodo, yes, but you see, he gave up in politics because sometimes you get into politics and you find it so murky.
Mhm,
And he said, this is not my piece of shit. Let
mm,
me let me just get out and do my own things. I think that is what happened to Shem. Let me stick to my career path.
mm.
If politics calls me or if government wants to employ me, this is somebody who can be in the Ministry of IT and
IT.
serve properly. So these are the kind of leaders that we missed. we missed in the quest of patronage because they were principled
mhm,
and they had a certain belief.
mhm,
So when you have a leadership that is not comfortable,
mhm,
and they say, you have to play patronage, or
mhm,
you have to toe the line
mhm,
to the party leaders. Sometimes you have a very good idea, and I think that is more is the ODM's chairman no leader undoing,
mhm,
because he is missing the advice from the real, the people who want him to look at things in a different way. Then he
mhm,
has got this bunch of sycophants around him
mhm.
that will always, they always say it in public. When Raila says jump, I jump. When Raila says I get into the hole, I get into the hole. When
Oh,
Raila say I run and I disappear never to be seen again.
mm,
So
okay.
they're this kind of leaders. So that is the development agenda
Mm,
for these leaders. And when they say that to the crowd,
mm.
you will be electable. You will be somebody who will be serve a particular constituency
And
for, yeah. Let's go
yeah,
ahead.
and that's like sometimes I do look at not even like people from Luo Nyanza, everywhere, because I don't think like there are people who understands Raila Odinga ideology. Very few people do understand his ideology in that, because they know like this guy has a fan base, a die-hard fan base. And for me, even to get elected, you know, I will be with him by saying some of the things that I ought not to even be saying. But immediately I get into that position, I try to now let me kind of like stick to my lane. I'm no longer going to be with him based on the people that surrounds him. Oh,
Yeah. You see, Raila misses the service of people like the late Kajuang. He
yeah.
misses the services of the people like Ojode. These are people who could reprimand him and tell him, hey, you are going wrong. But
Mm,
today, he doesn't have that kind of person who can tell him,
mm,
Jaduang, yeah, things are going bad. We cannot go this direction.
mm,
Let us join UDA or join KANU then. So today, he is kind of lonely in his political quest. That
mm,
is why you find him, trying to go everywhere. He's with Uhuru. He wants to join government at the same time. He doesn't really know where where to begin, especially now that he lost election, unfortunately,
mm.
which to me is very annoying, and it's a topic for another day. For me, I think Raila annoys me more than anybody else. I don't know. I don't want even to mention his name.
Okay, now before we wind up, especially when we come, we are still we wind up on the budget 2023-2024 financial year. So what do you like to tell Kenyans, especially because like when you go to small towns, especially like in Turukana, everywhere, people are complaining about it. What do you want to tell Kenyans?
I want to tell Kenyans that uh, the government of William Ruto has made a bold step. It has made a bold step to address the debt situation in the country by increasing taxes in a way. But I believe by and large, this will ease the burden that we are having. Remember that taxes come with benefit. Your taxes, if managed properly, you will
Mm,
get good roads, you'll get clean water, you'll get good schools, you'll get good hospitals, you'll get employment.
Mm,
So the tax cuts is attracting investors into the country,
mm,
and that is something that we had never seen before. I saw at some other point Ruto was telling black community that they don't need a visa to come to Kenya, especially those in America. So this is a very, very good opportunity for people living abroad who want to invest in Africa. Africa is a good investment opportunity, and we hope that everybody will take the opportunity that is being offered in terms of investment. And the companies that are abroad,
mm,
we also want to urge you that the current government is ready to work with companies that are looking for resources outside outside Europe and outside
mm,
America. So
mhm,
you can join us in the development of our country and creating jobs
mhm.
for our youths, especially decent jobs that we need. We need to move from a third world country to a developed country. So that is my request, and to Kenyans in general, sasa ni wakati wa kukaza kamba.
Kazi
Kaza,
kabisa.
kaza kamba.
Mm,
Kama ulikuwa umefungua mdomo na tumbo umeweka unakula kula, wewe kula kidogo, bakisha
mhm.
kidogo ya tax,
What
uone
about
matunda
what
eh?
about our leaders?
Uh, I want to to our leaders, wewe kuleni ya mwisho 2027, tuko na nyinyi
Eh,
pale kwa ballot. We
okay.
want services for our people.
Mhm,
If you are coming, if you are a leader who is coming from Luo Nyanza,
mhm,
umekaa huko 15 years, 10 years down the road, you
mm,
don't know how a fish plant works, you don't know how to market our fish from
mhm,
Usenge Beach to Sori Beach to Mbita
mhm,
to Mfangano, ati amujui samaki inauzwa huku nje.
mm.
We are also telling you to pack your things, muende nyumbani. All right?
Okay, okay. Mr. Mzalendo, thank you so much. And I hope we'll continue talking maybe each and every Friday. If we have issues coming, I will always let you know and come and assist us to understand some of the things that we don't and have a conversation with our community. Thank you very much. And I hope I talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. And thank you once again, Ben. And have a good night or a good morning, wherever you are. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
we will do it Friday again. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Karibu.